Well, it's January the 15th and we got a big storm coming in. It's a scary storm. I think there's as much as 70 potential, 70, that's right, 70 centimeters. So what's that going to mean for St. John's, Newfoundland? You know, there's been an enormous amount of complaints about sidewalks. Sidewalks are in deplorable condition. People's driveways are so blocked up now with snow, their banks are so high that their snow blowers not making it over, unless they got a Honda snowblower. Well, then that's different, but most people can't afford Honda snowblowers, so that really sucks. So I guess what you need to do right now is buy a generator, make sure your generator is working, gas up your generator, make sure you got lots of a good store of gas, because we are going to have a power outage. You're looking at, well, I just watched the forecast, which I'm going to include in this video, and it shows between 40 and 60 centimeters for the Avalon Peninsula, St. John's area, with the possibility of a lot more than that. I mean, really, a lot more than that. That could mean like 70. And keeping in mind that 60 centimeters is approximately 2.5 feet, I believe. So if 60 centimeters is 2.5 feet, 70 centimeters is more. So it's really going to be a fucked up storm. 100-kilometer-an-hour winds. Well, actually, I think they said 130-kilometer-an-hour winds. So we can pretty much guarantee there will be some power outages. I don't know how much of one, but how long it'll be. Maybe it'll be like the 80s where we have like, I think it was a week and a half or something. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, there is a big storm coming. It's coming tomorrow night. Yes, we're going to have Friday off, but if we have 70 centimeters, there's no way St. John's is going to be able to deal with it, and likely they won't be able to get at it till Saturday evening, which would mean they had Sunday to clean it all up. We could even be off on Monday. We could be off on Monday. So like Friday and Monday with no power. It's so exciting. It's just so exciting.
Off, but the trend of this system is moving south and east, and that's bringing the heaviest snowfall right along with it as of now. And those winds, you can see the wind field's quite large with this system. So as much as those winds are going to be really strong, certainly for the northeast coast, really the entire province is going to see the effects of those winds as we head through the day on Friday. That'll move off, clearing things out by Saturday. Still going to see some lingering flurry activity, though, as those winds continue to stay quite strong as well. But we will eventually see a little bit of clearing. And behind that, we've got another system. But let's get first through the first one, and then we'll start talking about that one. So here's a look at what I'm expecting snowfall-wise. Still have another day to fine-tune the forecast, but those temperatures are even cold as we head towards central. So I still have gander in that 20 to 40 centimeter range, significantly less as you head further west. Corner Brook only looking at anywhere probably closer to the 5 to 10 centimeter range, but I still have you in that 15 centimeter. But the one to note really is Bonavista Peninsula and the Avalon Peninsula. That's where it looks like the heaviest snow will fall. Somewhere in between there, we will more than likely see 40 to 60. Even could see some higher amounts. Now with this wind, it'll be blowing around, so it'll kind of be hard to determine just how much snow fell. But that is what we're looking at right now. So the other thing to note, mention those winds. They are going to be strong. They're going to pick up early on Friday morning. As you can see, widespread gusts anywhere from 50 to about 70 kilometers per hour. And then as we head through the day on Friday, even stronger. This is when we'll start to get into that 90 to 100 kilometer per hour range with those gusts, and even more so overnight. Now those 100 kilometer per hour gusts is when we're going to see the heaviest snowfall, tapering off, but still going to be strong as far as those snowfall rates go overnight Saturday. Look at 130 to 140 kilometers per hour is possible in those exposed areas. So certainly something to think about as we're heading through the next couple of days. Likely going to see widespread areas of some blizzard conditions as we head through the day. So it's going to be busy. So for Friday, this is what we're looking at, those temperatures. I mentioned cooler temperatures as you head towards central. So -8, -14 for Corner Brook. But as you head towards the Avalon, those temperatures will be hovering just below the 0-degree mark. Beautiful up through Labrador. You get to sit this one out, as I kept mentioning, -26 for Lab City as your afternoon high. So that's a look at your forecast. We'll look at your weather photo when I come back.
And we'll check back now with Eddie Shear with another look at that winter storm that's coming.
Yes, thank you very much, Michael and Tony. We'll start by looking at futurecast. This will take us through the next 24 hours, during which I don't expect a whole lot of active weather. A few flurries across areas of southern, western, and even eastern Newfoundland overnight, and as we go throughout the morning hours tomorrow and even into the afternoon. But it's not in association with our incoming low, and whatever falls is going to be rather light, although some areas along the south coast could pick up a couple of centimeters of snow as we go throughout tonight and the day tomorrow. Now it's tomorrow night into Friday and even Saturday when our next weather maker is due in. And ahead of it, Environment Canada has a winter storm watch in effect for many areas of eastern and central Newfoundland, and for interior areas, Grand Falls, Windsor vicinity, and Canagra, we have a special weather statement in effect. Satellite and radar loop showing that areas of the Great Lakes in the U.S. are seeing some light snowfall right now, and as we head farther south down towards Georgia and Florida, and even getting back as far west as Texas, we are seeing some rain showers. These are the ingredients for our area of low pressure. They're going to begin to kind of merge overnight, and as we go into the mid part of the day tomorrow, an area of low pressure is going to start to develop rather quickly near the coast of Nova Scotia. And by 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, there is our developing low. Snow already falling across the Maritimes, but quiet across Newfoundland as we begin tomorrow evening. It's not until after midnight that snow really begins to spread in. In fact, by midnight tomorrow night, here's our low south of Newfoundland. Snow is still offshore. As we go throughout the overnight hours tomorrow, we see that snow moving in 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning across the Burin and Avalon peninsulas and beginning to push back toward the north and west. And our area of low pressure is going to rapidly intensify as we go throughout the day on Friday and move toward the Avalon Peninsula. As that happens, during the day Friday, snowfall rates begin to increase across eastern areas of Newfoundland. Snow becomes very heavy at times during the day Friday, and those winds begin to ramp up in combination with the heavy snowfall as we go into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. In fact, it looks like for a time Friday afternoon across the Avalon Peninsula and maybe even the northeast coast of the island, snowfall rates may be on the order of 5 to 7 centimeters per hour. Very heavy snow, very high winds. Travel is going to become almost impossible by the time Friday evening rolls around, because in addition to the heavy snow Friday evening, winds are going to begin to ramp up. Notice how tightly packed those isobars are across eastern Newfoundland. They're closer those lines are together, the higher the wind speeds are going to be. And as we go into Friday night, the low begins to pull away. The heaviest snow begins to pull away Friday night as well, but it will linger on the backside of our low as we go through Saturday morning through about midday, and it looks like then finally the snow begins to end, the winds will begin to ease, and we should also see some clearing, although along the west coast by Saturday, looking at the potential for some flurries. Now, so far as the snowfall amounts are concerned, it looks like they're going to be quite hefty. As we get along the west coast, not a big deal. As we get through central, looking at 10 to 20 centimeters through Grand Falls, Windsor, back to Canagra. But Gander, the northeast coast, the Burin Peninsula, 20 to 40 centimeters for you. It's as we get toward the Avalon and Bonavista peninsulas where I think the highest totals are going to be found, between 40 and 70 plus centimeters. And I have a plus after the 70 because some late guidance I was just looking at before coming on air possibly showing over 70 in some areas, which is, it's ludicrous, but it's possible, and I have to mention it. So in this red zone, widespread 40, 50, with some places seeing as much as 60 or maybe even 70 centimeters of snow. As of now, I'm not sure if that highest pocket is going to be across the northeast Avalon, Avalon North, or the Bonavista Peninsula, or a combination of the three, but I think it's going to be somewhere in this area, which is why I have it highlighted, and I think by tomorrow evening we should have a pretty good idea of where the highest amounts are going to be. But basically, if you're in this red zone, expect a lot of snow, regardless of if you get 60 or 70 or 40. It's still a lot to deal with in combination with the very high wind speed. So how high are we talking about? Well, by midday to midday Friday, winds gusting 96. As we get into Friday evening, winds in St. John's and across the northern Avalon begin to gust 112, 115. Bonavista Friday evening gusting 138. And those high winds, 120, 130. These are the gusts now, approaching the Avalon east and northwest as we go into Friday evening. And it looks like finally those high winds begin to ramp down somewhat as we go into Saturday morning. So in combination with the snow, we're talking about high winds, which I think could definitely create some power outages due to just the sheer force of the wind. And in combination with that, we're looking at a possible storm surge Friday night into Saturday morning with the high tide cycles for north-facing coastlines of eastern and northeastern Newfoundland. Surge up to 80 centimeters above the normal high tide from 7 to 10 meter waves breaking near shore, and possible damage to coastal infrastructure in low-lying areas from the storm surge. So we have the snow, we have the wind, and we have the potential storm surge. So lots going on with the storm moving in.